Welcome back, everyone, to another Hearts of Iron 4 thing. This video was supposed to be preceded by me playing this mod's newest version. And by this mod, I mean, Iron Curtain, Cold War Iron Curtain. By newest version, I mean the 0.3, I believe, update. That's just come out. But unfortunately, the problem with this mod is that it's just too fucking big, right? So I'm always like, I don't know, kind of daunted by it. It's just so fucking big. This is a bit of an issue. At the same time, yes, sometimes you're just feeling like you're doing things wrong, right? Because there's just so much stuff. And again, Что? No. He had a different line at the beginning. Anyway, this being a ridiculously big mod as well, it takes a while to learn and play, and I don't got that much time anymore or whatever. So this is going to be an unabashedly ignorant review of this update. So yeah, I guess anti-intellectualism is the greatest thing ever, and don't listen to the people who think that they're the experts, because they don't know shit. I know shit. I'm the voice of the people, like this woman over here who's doing total quality management. Lovely. So anyways, there's this lovely mod, right? We're not gonna be able to look at all of what they've added, because again, some of it is content that comes up later in the game. Some of it is stuff that requires a little bit of like doing to get to, like the space race stuff. Like they added a few things related to the space race. Essentially, if we look at like, yeah, there we go. There's like these missions over here. Launched unmanned array into orbit. You need money, of course. You need some technology. So basically, this is like, you're doing your spacecraft technologies. You've got your 2 to 4 meter vessels. You're doing Elon Musk, and then you can Elon Musk into space or whatever. Let's hope that it's actually like you're a better person than Elon Musk, because if not, you're gonna establish space feudal capitalism, and that's not great. Anyway, as you can see, there's also been a little bit of a visual updating. I gotta say, I really, really enjoy the visuals of this mod now. They're pretty great, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't say that they're like on par with like Rite of Flood or Equestria at War, but they fit extremely well with early to mid second half of the 20th century. I don't want to say Cold War because, one, I don't particularly like the term, but that's a discussion for another time. Two, it's the Cold War mod. If I say Cold War more times, the algorithm is going to promote the video. But since it's, Cold War Iron Curtain mod, Hearts of Iron 4, I'm going to say that word a lot, so I don't want to say it too much. Even if it's gonna... Which, yeah, I believe this actually, like... YouTube is, like, good enough at recognizing, like, voice that it just analyzes a video's voice, essentially, intake, audio stream, and if it's got a lot of the keywords that are also in the title and tags, it promotes it more. But I've heard that it's good enough to do that, but whatever. I'm not 100%. So, enough side-tracking myself, and actually let's get to what's new, what's really new in this actually 0.2 Hardliners update. It's called Hardliners, of course. Primarily, it's a nice expansion to the United States and the Soviet Union, which I like because there's just like a lot of mods, like especially Millennium Dawn does this a lot, where like, there's like important countries, right? and they have like zero content or next to no content or like old content that was developed right at the beginning, but then just kind of forgotten about. And they're just doing content on like Greece. Like, you know, no hate from my boys in Greece. You know, I'm across the pond over here. You know, once this whole pandemic shit is over, I'm gonna visit your country. But like, Greece ain't that important in the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean? Or like Albania. Everybody loves a good Albania moment. But, you know, it's not like the priority, I guess. If it's like a, you know, if it's an underdeveloped mod, maybe you should do, you know, your United States and your Chinas and your Japans and your Germanys and your Soviet Unions or Russia or whatever. But whatever, let's get right into it. So they reworked those two things, then they added a bunch of sort of supportive systems, like again the space race missions kind of shit. A lot of GUI nonsense, which is, oh, look at this, look at how good this is. Damn, the GUI, man. Look at look at your means of production or whatever. It's called the means of production. It's not me making a funny, you know, funny commie joke or whatever. You have your civilian industry, your military industry, which apparently does not produce GDP. I was not made aware of this. I'm sure the military-industrial complex was also not made aware of the fact that military industry, well, it just does, you know, it just doesn't produce GDP. You know, I guess we should just not do it or something. I don't know. There's your current GDP, $500 billion. Damn. Is this like real data? I don't know. It would mean that the Soviet Union in 1950 had a quarter of the GDP that Italy has today, because Italy has around 2 trillion. If I'm not like completely fucking mistaken, but no, yeah, it's around 2 trillion. Fun fact also, the global military spending this year is going to be $2 trillion. So yeah, the world has grown. World's bigger. You know, you've got your office parks. There's a bunch of buildings. Also, I love the like little Victoria II assets being repurposed with the grain RGO picture and like the capitalist over here. Even like even the civilian industry is like a Victoria II factory. I don't know. I like it. And mineral procurement, mineral proc, number of refineries available in the country. Oh, I guess yeah, another type of building. And yeah, you've got your that was not intentional. And probably should not be in there because it was just looping. I'm not sure if it's ever gonna go away. Right, well, after getting like fucking jump scared or whatever, there's also some nice decisions for Austria. Create communist Austria. You can do a, you know, a little East Germany moment. The second Anschluss even. Wait. Wow, that's gonna give it to East Germany. How's that gonna work? Nobody knows. Now we're gonna need to cope with the rest of the video without effects. Okay, there we go. The scary children is over. There we go. Excellent, amazing, fantastic. So yeah, there's that GUI thing. There's also a world tension GUI, but it's kind of like the TNO one. I think it's kind of broken because like, I mean, obviously there's no way to like make this not broken, but it looks like the entire world is in conflict or insurgency. Holy shit. Well, that's fucking interesting. How does that work? Like, do they have to go like, if the tag is at war, then load texture 2 or whatever for every single country, and if no tags are at war, then load texture 1. Well, good job. It looks really cool. Okay, right. And yeah, there's even like the active conflict, the insurgency. I guess this just, you know, Looks if you have like these insurgencies that they added in the last update, like, you know, the Ukrainian Insurgent Army or like the Mau Mau Rebellion that they added. How is Western Europe in an insurgency? I guess Spain has like the Moroccan one, and so since Spain is in the Western Europe thing, like maybe there's Northern Ireland. Who knows? Who knows? Right, okay, so that's the World Tension GUI. Then there is even culture and religion mechanics. Now, if you click on a state, there's like a little tiny yellow. The first time I loaded this up, I actually completely missed it. I was like, the fuck are you talking about? You have like, you know, the fuck are you talking about? You have like stats for every single state. That's impossible. Turns out, no, it's true. Looks like it needs like, it might need like a day of game time to load properly, because I see a lot of zeros. But yeah, there's like the demographics, you know. Oh. Man, I love all the Japanese tracks in the Hearts of Iron soundtracks. Anyway, is that a nuclear? It's a nuclear weapons manufacturing plant. Alrighty then. And there's even fucking religion. Now, why? I don't know. I don't know why they decided to add a culture. I get it. Like, I get it. You know, culture, blah, blah, important. I don't know why they decided to add a religion mechanic to the Cold War Iron Curtain mod. Yeah, I've got no clue. Now, if you're playing, I'm guessing the Soviet Union has like a hidden like atheist modifier, but if you're playing another country, there's another country. Well, if you're playing other countries, you're gonna have like decisions to like call in missionaries or something. It's gonna decrease your stability, and it's gonna convert your, you know, your states from like, I don't know, Orthodox to Shia Islam or something. Now, of course, we all know that the greatness of Ayatollah Khomeini sending his letter to Gorbachev and converting Gorbachev to Shia Islam could have changed world history. And, you know, it would have been pretty based, but yeah, I'm still not like the greatest, like, traditional Iranian. Are you serious? Is this like Zoroastrianism or something? Like, do we really need like Zoroastrianism to be added to this mod? I'm not sure. Which is part of the reason why this this mod in general. Like, yeah, I like it, but I have a hard time actually playing it because it's just, there's just so much shit, and sometimes some of it feels like it's bloat, if you know what I mean. But oh well, it's fine. There's like a bunch of event chains for different events, like the Stalin notes, you know, the reunification of Germany in a neutral sense, the reunification of Austria, as we saw. I believe they write the Suez rework, so I'm guessing like a Suez crisis event chain that got finally added, which is good because, you know, I played Israel at one point, and, you know, the Suez crisis stuff was severely lacking, if not completely non-existent. And yeah, there's even like, there's even new states, you know, all over the place. Like, you know, they've changed around the map a tiny amount. The Republic of China, if it wins the Civil War, which is insanely difficult. I tried. It's incredibly difficult because, where is it? Yeah, over here, the People's Army or whatever. Look at this, plus 75% attack on core territory. Guess what? You know, they've got core territories on everything, of course, because, you know. Wait, what do you mean, owner of People's Revolution Army? The way you win the Chinese Civil War as the ROC is that you hold Shanghai somehow, even though, you know, the PRC have this OP modifier. I've tried, I believe, 3 times. I could never hold Shanghai. But if you hold Shanghai for like a couple months, the modifier goes away, and then, you know, then you fight a normal civil war and you win. But if you win, you're gonna have a like united ROC China focus tree, which is obviously, you know, me being me, I'm a great fan of that. I wish I could see it, but whatever. I really wish I could see it, but well. So yeah, as we saw, there's the GDP window. Then there's also the economic stats window, which is just a better version of like what they already have over here. Here you like have the costs for every single policy you have. Here you can see, however, in a better way than like just hovering over the economic sort of balance, like what's giving you income, you know, what's making that income go away. Of course, it's the Soviet Union, so it's mostly army expenditures, you know, your education shit or whatever. And you can click or not click based on the data that you're getting from here. Unlike, you know, in the last update when they added the welfare stuff, or well, the reform stuff, and the like money, you had to like go and, oh god, I need to look at here, look at there. Honestly, at this point, it's even more workable than the Millennium Dawn mod, which was the mod that like got famous for doing this like GDP and budget mechanic. And it's definitely better than the TNO window. If anything, because the TNO window uses the TNO style of GUI. Now, this Victoria 2 GUI style is not like entirely congruous with the rest of the Cold War Iron Current mod, but it's workable. I like it. It's pleasant to look at, and so yeah, that's a plus for me. Of course, you got your fruit production, you know, in the space race. Up here, just your normal stuff. Now, the big thing with this update, though, truly, is, as I said, the updates to the USSR and the United States, but we're going to save those for last. And first, we're going to take a look at some random fucking focus trees that they've added. Just in case any of you care about, for example, the Communist Greece focus tree. You know, the Greek Democratic Army over here, under Dimitrios Partsalidis. It's actually a pretty cute focus tree. I've looked at it earlier. There are basically two paths over here. Either like returning to guerrilla warfare or continuing the conventional war, which I know absolutely jack shit about, like the you know, Greek quote unquote democratic insurgency of the late 40s. I know that like basically at some point the Soviet Union was like, all right, fuck you guys, you know, we may like you, but we have the percentage agreements with the West, and we're not gonna start World War III over democratic Greece or whatever. So y'all on your own, and they eventually died. Now, yeah, you know, you've got your guerrilla nonsense. You know, you're gonna hold up in your mountains and you're gonna try to fight. I'm guessing this could be like pretty fun to play. Like trying to desperately, you know, fight against the odds, or you can continue the conventional war and get a bunch of shit modifiers. Obviously. Although later you do get some pretty epic like focuses, but like right. And then once you win, you establish the Democratic Republic of Greece, and you know you're the premier. How epic! Kill the fascists. Kill the Stefanos Sarafis. No idea who he is. Absolutely no goddamn clue as to any Greek history. Before, I guess you could, yeah, before the 1970s, I know literally nothing about Greek history. And you know, you do some socialist fraternal kisses or whatever. You even give the Ionian Islands to the Soviet Union. Everybody loves this. Why? Why exactly? Yeah, isn't the Ionian Islands like the one in the west? Because it's in the Ionian Sea, which is this one. So Corfu, you're just gonna give the Soviets Corfu, because why the fuck not? Just Soviet Corfu. With an epic, not very time-appropriate Soviet cruiser. Nice. Strengthen ties with Mao and all that. Pogging with Mao Zedong. Yeah, you're doing your thing. You know, you're doing some 5-year plan nonsense. Greek Red Terror. Everybody loves this. Utilize the NKVD tactics. Yeah, just do your own thing, you know, your Stasi and stuff. Now, if the Soviet does the redraw the phosphorus borders, Bosphorus, not phosphorus, redraw the Bosphorus borders, which is a nice diplomacy measure you can do in the Stalin tree somewhere. Right, aid to Greek loyalists, maintain push for Turkish regime change. So, yeah. Now, if they do that, then you get the partition of Turkey. You know, it's a bit of a Turkish question. You know, you need to kill all the Turks, and you rename, of course, you rename Istanbul to Constantinople, Izmir to Smyrna, and Gebze to Zacharia-Dropoli, you know, after the premier Zacharia, whatever his name is, Nikos Zacharidis. What is Gefles or whatever? Nobody knows. What? Gebze. Yeah, what is Gebze? Oh, it's like a, I see. It's a victory point. Right, so basically you're just doing bad shit. Of course, you've got the Cyprus shit, and you're like, reactionary Greeks are still reactionaries. That's if you just don't care about Cyprus. Or reactionary Greeks are still Greeks. I like the little wordplay, and you're trying to do your Enosis. The Korean War, you can even send help to North Korea. Although, unfortunately, you cannot send an epic Greek division to North Korea, which would be interesting. And, of course, establish Greece as the tourist hotspot of the Eastern Bloc, which, to be fair, that does make quite a bit of sense. We will add a huge touristic scripted building that will immediately generate money from our rich history. Spend $50 billion. Damn. The fate of the Greek Orthodox Church. You can either do the Albanian model, aka be a based atheist, you know, create our atheism, or you can do the Romanian model, which is do an Orthodox socialist or whatever. Matthew 19:24. Jesus with the red star. What is even is that like the like you know, it's easier for the rich, or it's easier for no, it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than needle to camel, than the camel to pass through the eye of the needle or something. Matthew 19:24, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's the eye of the needle thing. Right. Understandable. You know the quote, obviously. Now, once the 20th Congress of the CPSU happens, or if it happens, spoiler alert, or I guess foreshadowing. I haven't spoiled yet. Well, let's spoil it. They added they added a non-Khrushchev path, so we're gonna look at that later. You obviously, you know, most of the world's, like, you know, tankies, tankies. Damn it. Most of the world's, you know, pro-Soviet parties were completely just flabbergasted by the 20th Congress of the CPSU, which is one in which Khrushchev did the secret speech. I'm guessing most people who watch this video know pretty well, you know, this entire episode. You can either do a you can pull an Albania. Also, damn, I see some Comrade Calciums over there. Yeah, I see the nice little commie skeletons. Love it, absolutely fantastic. You can do a nice little, you know, Haja, you know, kill the revisionists. Damn, look at that man being just absolutely a boss with rockets flying in the background and like atom shit. Emphasize scientific development. And yeah, you can join the Maoists if you want with the little red book over here. And you become Maoist. Just, you know, Maoist Greece, why not? Or you can still stick with the Soviets, despite the fact that, you know, you're distancing yourself from them, but not too much, you know. You're doing a bit of a... Was there anyone here who... I guess you're doing a Rakushi. Yeah, you're doing a Rakushi. Nobody fought... Rakushi, I think. Where you're like, oh my god, the Soviet Union is even more revisionist. What the hell? But you're still, you know, the puppet of the Soviet Union. Anyway, you can also answer with a KKE reformist takeover. Howeverino. If you announce withdrawal from the Warsaw Pact, there are two options, I believe. Wait, you're a puppet of the Soviet Union? What the fuck? Or I guess you become like a Comic-Con member or whatever. Right, a satellite state or something. Right, okay. So you can essentially leave the Soviet sphere if the Soviets don't immediately invade you, I suppose. Or the Soviets can invade you. Now, if the Soviets invade you, or, you know, coup you, or whatever the fuck, it's gonna do a bridge too far and throw you back to regain control. So you can, you know, you go back to the anti-revisionist path. Or if the Soviets back down, there are two options. One is a Titoist, Marshal Marcos Vafiadis. And the Titoist... Obviously, you know, you've got IMF loans. Obviously, with the Titoist, you know, you're trying to straddle the path between the Soviet bloc and the Western bloc. And in the end, you can join the non-aligned movement, of course. Or you can withdraw into isolation. Wait, I'm pretty sure this is wrong. Pretty sure this is supposed to be that, like, if you have completed the focus Marshal Marcos. If you have not gone with Marshal Marcos, and instead you've gone with President Charilaos Florakis, you're gonna, you know, yeah. You see what's going on. You're gonna pull a, basically a Gorbachev, right? And you can even join NATO, because why the fuck not? Democratic Greece and NATO. Epic. So that's the Greece tree. It's cute. I like it. And then there's a Morocco tree for the 1950s. Now, if I know little about Greece, or, you know, next to nothing about Greece, I know even less about Morocco. Now, essentially, a lot of the problems of Morocco is that it's a... it's not, like, the most united country in the world, I suppose you could say. Why is there a big brain with an Arabic script below an anti-aircraft gun? How good is that? How good is that focus icon, though? It's a big brain in the form of, like, an Arabic script. Sure, whatever. So there's, like, a lot of insurgencies in Morocco, especially... I'm not sure... Do you, like, become independent through this focus tree? Yeah, you do. So, wait, do you? Do you? Rail against continued occupation. Right, i.e. Liban Conference. Right, okay. So basically, you've got a lot of issues, right? The nationalists are angry because, you know, they want the monarchy to not be French puppets. The people in Sidi Ifni down here, I'm fairly certain this is like the southern area, because Ifni is like in the mountainous region, right? I'm fairly certain about this. Yeah, in the south. You know, there's the situation with the Spanish colonies that need to be, you know, reunited. I guess there's three different outcomes: the Treaty of Madrid, the Treaty of Angra de Sintra, and the Treaty of Casablanca. I'm guessing, you know, depending on the outcome of that, this little tiny Spanish territory might be re-annexed into Morocco. There is the Reef situation, which is the Spanish northern colony, you know, the coastline over here. You can either basically, damn, look at that. Enact the reforms, okay, or reject the reforms, in which case you do a revolt and you, I suppose, try to, or maybe that's after it's returned to you. Yeah, maybe that's after it's returned to you. Yeah, because it declares war on Morocco and you're gonna need to fight the Rafian Empire. Or if you want to spend $250 million for free agri-industrial complexes in an industrial park, you're free to do that. Yeah. Damn. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of focuses about a lot of people that I don't know anything about. And there's also, of course, the whole Jew issue. Now, quite a lot of Moroccan Jews existed because they were the Spanish Jews, and there were quite a lot of Spanish Jews until the Spanish did the Spanish, and the Jews fled to Morocco. So we go a little bit into this in my Israel campaign and all that. So that's Morocco. And oh, right, the independence part. That's the most important part. So the independence part over here is that you go down here and there's the Liban Conference, which either breaks down negotiations, aka, you know, goes into autonomy and you're still the monarchy and you have a Republican revolt. Or this other thing, which I think I'm fairly certain this is the historical route. The Regency Council, and then Morocco becomes free at some point. And then you have negotiations with Spain, blah, 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 bunch of things. Now, I wonder if there's anything about Western Sahara in this, because you do have your claims, of course, on the Western Sahara part. And there's a lot of controversy over that, of course, in the following years, in the following quick mathematics, 70 years, 71. So that's Morocco. Then there's Nigeria in the 1950s, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like. I'm not 100% certain as to whether or not I like this focus tree. I looked at it and it just looks like I need to know a lot more about earlier Nigerian history than I do to enjoy it. To be completely fucking honest, I guess there's a nice road to independence thing. Oh, it adds independence. Ooh, blend Sharia and What? What do you mean? Interesting. I guess you can have a partitioned Nigeria. You can also have a binational Nigeria. Damn, good ending. Good ending. Action group. Anyway, that's Nigeria. Then there's Sweden, 1950s, of course. Everybody fucking loves our good old social democrats at the Folkhemmet, the people's home concept. Yeah, what I love about the Swedish focus tree, this focus tree, I like it. I like, now, Sweden needs to be, you can memory TV me all you want, but, you know, by Allah, I declare that Sweden must be destroyed. But other than, you know, that objectively true phrase, this focus tree is really, really good. Because, like, yeah, you know, the people's home concept, which was basically, it was like the Swedish social democrat sort of vision for Sweden or whatever, which was, you know, basically pretty hardcore social democracy, to go very, very simplistically. To explain that, you can even do, yeah, you can even go back to like liberal if you want, in your elections. Well, not liberal, but like conservative, I'm pretty sure. Borgerliga. Or you can continue with the Social Democrats. And, you know, down here, the Strong Society and the Nordic Council, as opposed to the Nordic Council and the federalism and the free market and, you know, your thing. You've got a nice post-war economic boom, you know, a few nice economic things, wood pulp production. So, you know, you're just being stereotypical Sweden good guy or whatever the fuck. And then nukes. I love this. I love this so much. Nuclear weapons, because yeah, there was I mean, this was a period in which a lot of very unsuspecting countries were like, huh, right, this nuclear weapons thing sounds like we should have some of them. Which, you know, includes like Sweden, but it also includes like South Africa and the Republic of China, and, you know, a bunch of pretty funny countries. I'm fairly certain Argentina at some point had like an explorative nuclear weapons program. And yeah, just a lot of very unsuspecting countries that you're like not expecting, you know. Maybe even Egypt at some point. Yeah, I don't 100% remember all of the countries, all of the hilarious countries that had nuclear weapons programs that then later were, you know, either persuaded to just give it up or, you know, decided it wasn't worth it. Yeah, that's Sweden. You know, you do your social democracy and you do your nukes. Everybody loves nukes, you know. You invest in your thermal nuclear weapon, Swedish nuclear program. And then when you're in the last election in the 1958 elections, 10 years from now, join NATO from American nukes. Or you can continue the domestic program. You know, you can also end your nuclear, like, weapons program and be boring. Just do the nuclear weapons. It's fun. It's just a meme, you know. Yeah, Republic of China victory tree, we talked about this already. North Korea 1950s. Okay. I guess that's a rework because North Korea already had a tree, although it was kind of weird. Oh, the Stalinization. Damn, look at this. This graphic is... Yeah, these graphics are pretty cute. Increase Soviet influence. Right. Embrace Soviet culture. Of course. And I see a little Matryoshka and Masha the bear. An Asian People's Democracy, of course. Subsidize the Chungdoist Chungu party. The big Chungus party, right? Yeah, this is the religious, the pseudo opposition. This is the religious, North Korean, like, weird religious party. Nice. Hydroelectric dams. Looks like it's a pretty standard, you know, Stalinist kind of nonsense. This guy is pretty proud of being a soldier of the great, you know, DPRK army, Korean People's Army. Korean People's Army Ground Force, Soviet T-34. MiG-20, no, MiG-21. Everybody loves MiG-21s. MiG-15, fuck what? Damn. But how epic is North Korea? How amazing is North Korea? And yeah, you can do, of course, the Fatherland Liberation War. Damn, there's no more weird, like, reformist North Korea. You could still do the General Secretary Cho Tung-ik, which is Khrushchev. Okay. Khrushchevist North Korea. Purge the guerrilla faction. Rehabilitate purged Soviet Korean writers. Increase Chinese cultural influence. Really now? What? Encourage Chinese language. That's weird. If it's like a Khrushchev, why is it pro-Chinese? I mean, it doesn't have to make sense, the ideology. It just has to be useful. Decrease repression modifiers. Ooh. You've got repression modifiers. Oh, yeah, right. It's the state. I love how he's pointing again at the head of someone. Cue the picture where, you know, like the NKVD guy is pointing a picture is pointing a pistol at you. Yeah, or you can do the second arduous march, which is, you know, yeah, obviously. Kim Il-sung just continuing to be Kim Il-sung. Empower Han Surya. Dang. Not sure what that is. I'm sorry, I don't know enough about North Korea. And yeah, you purge the Soviet faction, you purge the Yan'an faction. Now, that's something I know about. Now, the Yan'an faction over here were Workers' Party of Korea members. Workers' Party of Korea being, like, you know, the Kim Il-sung's party over here was the faction that had sort of cut their teeth with Mao Zedong in the Yan'an region in China, because a bunch of Korean left-wing revolutionaries, which later end up in the Workers' Party of Korea, basically had to flee Korea, you know, because of the whole Japanese colonialism nonsense. Once Korean resistance in Korea failed, and so a bunch were affiliated with the KMT, actually, especially in Shandong. There was this weird Korean KMT kind of business going on for a while in the 20s. Then that mostly faded away, and most of the Korean sort of liberation movement flowed into either the anarchists in Manchuria or the or essentially people just being Korean exiles and joining the CCP. Now, this is coinciding essentially with the defeat of the CCP in the cities, and, you know, the beginning of the process that then goes into the Jiangxi Soviet and Long March, and, you know, the CCP just having to huddle up in the mountains in Shanxi up here. And so there were a bunch of leading Workers' Party of Korea people who had, grown politically actually with Mao. And so Kim Il-sung, who instead was from essentially the Soviet Union, he was exiled to the Soviet Union, and ended up building his own political network separate from these people. Was obviously not 100% in favor of them. In fact, they clashed quite a lot. Now, there's also the Soviet faction, which is just, people who want to integrate North Korea closer to the Soviet Union. There was even a proposal at some point to make it, not sure if a full-on SSR or a Mongolia-style, so like, Comic-Con member. Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not it was one or the other, but North Korea never ends up like joining. Actually, did it join Comic-Con in the end? Damn, I don't remember, but it ends up being like, considering just how much Soviet aid was important in building up North Korea, North Korea ends up being politically quite independent from the Soviet Union. Yeah, anyway, how long has it been? How long have I been recording? 46 minutes. We haven't even gotten to the main part. Now, the main part is, as I said, USSR and United States of America. Now, United States of America, we're going to do this fairly quickly. Let's do the United States of America first, because I really, really love what they've done with the USA. Now, they've added a bunch of administration focus trees, so like, this is something that more and more mods are doing, but Iron Curtain, I believe, was, well, if not the first, one of the first to really do, is like to represent in these like longer timeline mods, to represent the different like political eras that a country is going through. You have different focus trees that get loaded progressively as you elect this or that person. Now, TNO is pretty famous for having them, but like Cold War Iron Curtain had them earlier. So, this is the Truman stuff. I'm pretty sure that it was already there. They've just updated it for it to work with like the Senate mechanics that they've added. I'm not sure if they've added them in this update or the other one, but of course, everyone and their mother by now has Parliament mechanics, so that's nothing particularly sexy in my opinion. What they have done is they've added more missiles or whatever. Yeah, they've revamped essentially the entire tree. And there's like a lot of administration trees, but I don't really particularly care about showing you these trees because, like, I'm guessing that most people are going to play 2 of them. Well, Eisenhower was already there. Actually, 3 of them. There's a bunch of people that, like, not many people know unless you're like a American political nerd. Like, nobody knows Thomas Dewey. Like, I know vaguely who he is. I know that he was a Republican, but like, they've added 2 Thomas Dewey administration trees. For, if you want the Republicans to win in 1952. And Thomas Dewey is the Republican candidate. Now, there's, of course, Eisenhower, which is what I think most people are going to pick. But they've even added Democratic Eisenhower. Not Republican Eisenhower, but also Democratic Eisenhower. I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to look like. Of course, the trees that I'm talking about that most people are going to want to go for are Nixon, 1956, of course. And MacArthur, 1952 and 1956. Of course, everybody loves the Douglas MacArthur presidency. He can be the Republican nominee in 1952 and do his thing. Now, there's also a bunch of like other options, going from like Social Democrats to Dixiecrats, essentially. So like either, complete the New Deal, and like make an earlier version of the Great Society or whatever, all the way to segregation forever, all the way to nuke China, of course, MacArthur. Now, you don't even need to elect MacArthur to nuke China or to nuke some communist gooks, as they said. That was a racial slur. Do not, as anyone, I'm not sure. See, like, I feel like a boomer for saying this, but like, do you remember WWE where they went like, you know, the following program is made by professionals. Do not try this at home or whatever. Same thing with the woodcock, like, racial slurs. Like, y'all know me. I like my Chinese. I like my Vietnamese. I like my Koreans a lot. I maybe even like my Japanese sometimes. But sometimes you just gotta have a random racial slur for no fucking reason, just for the edgy. Damn, Steven Crowder is gonna love me. Anyway, nastiness aside, they've added a ginormous non-administration locked tree with, like, you know, a bunch of, like, of course, military stuff, nuclear depth charges. Everybody loves the nuclear weapons everywhere. Doesn't everybody loves the 1950s where, like, the US military and the Soviet military were like, well, yes, we're gonna make a nuclear everything. It's unfortunate that they didn't, like, continue down this route, because then in, like, the 1970s they would have had, like, nuclear rifle bullets. Would have been pretty interesting. So yeah, there's all this, like, you know, armed forces, military industrial complex, nuclear weapons, big missiles, big space shit. There's this gigantic the CIA tree, which is, of course, Project Fat Fucker. That's, of course, this is just the stuff that everybody loves. Then there's a massive diplomacy tree, the State Department over here. So this is just like, you know, America Simulator, basically. You get what I love about this is that you get to go around and literally mess with everyone's day. You literally just get to mess with everybody. It's fantastic. So you're doing the Indochina War. You know, you can support France. You can even do a proposal to Hanoi to have a non-aligned, you know, kind of a Vietnamese Stalin note, you know, non-aligned Vietnam, or you can, you know, do the historical and support Diem, the, you know, president of South Vietnam. Or you can do more military aid to France and try to be more aggressive towards the Viet Minh, and you attack the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. In fact, you can even do some hilarious things later. Rig the Vietnamese elections and allow free elections. So yeah, you can do that. You could do more decolonization everywhere. Return to Wilsonian diplomacy. Africa for the Africans. So basically, this just tries to make more of these colonies decolonize. And the other option is the almighty dollar, or you can continue the Eurocentric African policy and promote moderates, you know. Everybody loves this, of course. Everybody loves this. And you can try to prop up the European colonies. Now, these, all of these, like, American trees often have events that, you know, sort of are triggered by the focus that you take. So basically, what the whole point is that it causes / intervenes in conflicts, and, you know, is supposed to bring about different solutions to different crises around the world. And, you know, in the end, the map is going to look different if you pick a historical path, which is something that I like. For example, in the Hungarian moment in 1956, you confront the Soviets and then stand by our word. The United States of America declares war on the Soviet Union with a nice Uncle Sam over here with F-86 Sabres. Am I correct in in saying that those are sabers? I don't know. And like if the Soviets back down, the curtain opens, which I'm guessing starts an event chain for like, you know, several countries breaking free from the Soviets. Or back down, which is like, oh, boo, the Soviet won. And, you know, you're doing your thing. America condemns Soviet aggression or whatever. Containment policy, vastly expand the military. This is the USA focus. I just love it. Vastly expand the military-industrial complex. In fact, I'll screenshot it, and it's going to be in the thumbnail, if I remember. USA focus. USA focus. There's, of course, a bunch of, like, Marshall Plan stuff. Funding people. Increasing mutual assistance funding, you know. Fund the CIA frontline. Wait, is that Woods or whatever from Call of Duty Black Ops? You've got to be kidding me. No way. How dare you? Anyway, expand NATO, invite Turkey, invite West Germany. You get it. CENTO, the sort of Middle Eastern NATO. Join CENTO with Israel. Damn. Bow to the Israel lobby. Okay. Interesting. Lebanese Republic. Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Oh, right. It's not with Israel. It's, right. It's with the Arabs. Ooga booga. My brain is not really working correctly. Crisis in Lebanon. Ooh, okay. And then the legacy of the Armistice agreements, which is the Israeli-Arab situation. Now, you can increase or you can limit Israeli foreign aid, or you can extend Israeli foreign aid and just give them 1 million, you know, pieces of equipment and, you know, doing your thing. Doing your thing with Israel, the Israel lobby memento. The Hava Nagila playing in the background with like a bunch of anti-Semitic content and propaganda. I love this discount weapon sale. Of course, the Suez Crisis. I love how you can just support Egypt in the Suez Crisis, just like in real life. But then you can, you know, like the twilight of the old order is what like is the historical path. However, you can also crash the British economy. It's just, I love it. I love how you can just crash the British economy and just, you know, just fuck Britain over. I love it. Or you can even support the Tripartite Alliance and be a cringe lord, veto the UN measures, and, you know, take an ahistorical stance siding with the West, you know, Israeli, French, British pact, or secret pact. You, of course, also got your Chinese Civil War nonsensicals. You know, bring the issue to the United Nations, call for military intervention, blah, blah, blah. UN police action, which might get vetoed by the Soviets, I guess. Send some American volunteers. And if you have made the Kuomintang hold on, you know, you're sending in some capitalism. And salute the Chinese Republic with Sun Yat-sen in the background, just looking like that. This was not what I intended. He's saying, but whatever. Or you can have some dominoing, and, you know, the historical path of the Formosa memento. And then you can establish CETO, which is the South Asian NATO. Then you have the Korean War, obviously. Damn, no surrender! Apparently, if it's after 1951 and, you know, the war's still going, push into Manchuria. And see, this is exactly what I was talking about. You don't even need to, you know, You don't even need to elect MacArthur to nuke the Chinese, because you can nuke Chinese. You can nuke the Chinese anyway. Implement MacArthur's proposal. That's also going in the thumbnail. That's the second USA focus. That and vastly expand the military-industrial complex. And you can even push into Manchuria somehow. And you declare war on the People's Liberation Army, also known as, the People's Republic of China. Later down the line, the tag is just called PLA right now. And the Yunnan Anti-Communist Army. Okay, guess it spawns the Yunnan Anti-Communist Army over here. All right, that's the United States diplomatic tree. There's also the CIA tree, which is essentially Syria. You can do a bunch of CIA shit, all over the place. Invade Syria, secure the Hashemite Syria. Just give a bunch of shit to Turkey. Just give Idlib and Aleppo and Raqqa and Al-Asaka and Deir ez-Zor to Turkey. I'm sure that there will not be any unforeseen ethnic cleansing of Kurdish people. There will not be any unforeseen, instability in the region. No. You can even support the free officers in Egypt with Project Fat Fucker. Guatemala, sure. Vietnam, fuck everyone, Oh. Stir unrest among Catholic North Vietnamese. Operation Passage to Freedom. Sure. Oh yeah, right. That's the, refugees from North to South Vietnam. Allow fair elections. Do Radio Free Europe and Operation Gladio. Some more America focuses. Overthrow Mohammed Mossadegh. Damn, this is really this is really, really, really good. Wait, what the fuck? Discreet civilian bombing campaign. Okay. With Indonesia. Oh yeah, right. Everybody loves me. A good old Indonesian purge over here. Bruh. Colonel Hussein? Oh no. Partition Indonesia. Holy shit, the state of East Indonesia. The Republic of South Maluku. Alright, sure. So that's the United States of America. Now with the Soviet Union, you go in and you're like, meh, I know that this exists. This always existed, You can see, yeah, these things always existed. It's like, what, bro, you're telling me things that I already know. Well, what if? What if? I tell you, okay, so first of all, if you click this, super event, and what happens is it switches the focus tree to the Khrushchev tree, which we might have already looked at it, but, you're doing some Soviet stuff, it's historical Khrushchev stuff. Yeah, I mean, Comic-Con, all that kind of stuff. Everybody, can we actually just do this again? Yeah, I know. Will that reload the focus tree, or do I need to? Yeah, there we go. You can also just click Malenkov now, and just have Malenkov be the premier. Now, this is actually a Malenkov Beria, of course. Fucking Beria. A Malenkov Beria alliance, and you have the power struggle. Now, when you have your 20th Congress of the CPSU, I'm pretty sure there's a background modifier where, depending on the events that are going around, that are being fired by this focus tree, depending on what you choose, you're going to have more or less Beria points. And if you have more Beria points than Malenkov points, you're going to have Beria. And if you have more Malenkov points than Beria points, you're going to have Malenkov. Malyankov. But the focus tree, as far as I am aware, remains the same. So we're going to look at this one first. Now you're going to halt the 5-year plan. You're going to halt the 5-year plan and you're going to do some emergency new economic policy / Dengism. And abandon the pharaonic project. Fragment larger farms, soften quotas for state farms. You know, just kind of trying to devolve agriculture to increase efficiency. And then you have a 7-year plan. Holy shit! Look at this. 7. Damn, this 7-year plan is really, really Soviet. Is it really, really Soviet? Well, the great consumer goods shift. As you may know, in real life, the USSR had a bit of a consumer goods problemo. So this is going to, I've looked at this very, very quickly. Like compared to the other Soviet trees, this has a lot less like straight up just factory count that it just gives you. But it has a bunch of like will increase our efficiency. It will increase our agricultural efficiency. It will decrease this shit modifier that you have in this or that place. So it just kind of looks like it's just a little bit more, rational, I guess you could say. Also, TVs. Also, tourism. He will do a red tourism. We will have a huge touristic scripted building that generates money from our rich history. Of course. Skiing capabilities in Caucasus. Of course, Kafkas. Black Sea Resort. Will develop a resort around Black Sea ranging from Novorossiysk to Sarpi at Turkish border for added income. It's like, thank you. One family, one car. Damn, that Soviet guy is really, really happy with his kid. Begin international market research. So yeah, you're doing Dengism, essentially. Why do I say that? Well, when you restart your public works project, you do trains. Everybody, I wonder if you can do the nuclear train. I love nuclear trains. You can even do the Baikal-Amur main line. Bomb. There's a great song about a rail line because it's the Soviet Union. Of course, there's like a song about a rail line that they built in the 1970s, I believe. The Baikal-Amur line, which is basically it was basically just an upgrade to the Trans-Siberian, essentially, and then later it goes up like to here or whatever. And then you do cutting-edge sectors. Unfortunately, no gas, but whatever. Insert the conglomerates into the global economy. Everybody loves a good old... will increase by 5% every positive characteristics of the conglomerates and halve the consumer goods penalty. Gain 1 research slot. Everybody loves it when, like, the Soviet Union is internationally capitalistic. So yeah, this is why I say that they're doing a bit of a Dengism. Yeah, essentially you're trying to be China, kind of. Renewed Soviet agriculture. Increase overall efficiency of the system. Prevent kulakism. That sounds pretty good. Purge Lysenko. No, not Lysenko. Why? Not Lysenko. Yeah, this tree looks really, really epic. I want to play with it. It's really, really fun. Now, if you're thinking of the 7-year plan and like, the power struggle stuff is interesting, just wait. Just wait a little bit. Now, you have problems. Just, you need to purge a bunch of factions. The more ultra-Stalinist people. the more Khrushchevist people. Molotov, Voroshilov. You need to announce the Great Soviet Rebirth. And what you do after the Great Soviet Rebirth is you intensify the Great Patriotic War propaganda. And you get to do an anti-criminal campaign. You know, you start to kill people. I mean, Beria is involved, so obviously, you know. Fate of the Great Zhukov. Turn Komsomol into spy network. Escalate into full-scale purge. Work in progress. Sure. So you get to kill everyone, right? And then, after you kill everyone, you help Mongolian agriculture, I suppose. And you do some pretty epic foreign policy moves, like the joint Soviet-US-Korean Peninsula civilian development. Just why the fuck not? Also, proposed border demilitarization with... No, this is... It's showing something that is supposed to be a, like, hilarious surprise. It's spoiling it. It's spoiling it. You're seeing it. You know what I'm talking about by now. You know, force Eastern European military spending limitation. Really now? Limitation? Okay. Yeah, basically you're trying to avoid having to spend so much on the goddamn military. Like, you know, 75% GDP spending on the military, or 75% of the budget spent on the military or whatever, you know, the good old Soviet stuff. Why is the Hungarian civilian aviation giant a dog? Nobody knows. Yeah, you're doing some Comic-Con business. And then you found the Pan-Europe... What? I don't know why this exists, but you found the Pan-European Union. And not only are the Eastern Bloc countries invited, everybody all the way to the United Kingdom. Is Spain invited too? I don't know. Well, you know... No, it doesn't look like Spain is invited. Good, at least, you know... At least Spain, you know, Francoist Spain isn't invited to the Pan-European Union. But yeah, everybody up to France and the UK gets invited to the Pan-European Union. Of course. Create a European Space Agency. We give each member 4 research bonuses for space. Okay. European scale war games. Participate in Euratom. Triannual Exchange Rate Commission. Dang, the Soviet Union really is gonna create the fiscal compact or something. I love this. The prayer conferences to settle the economic union. Holy shit, Soviet Euro. Develop a Paris, Berlin, Warsaw Railway. I'm not sure if this is like a TNO like path where it's like what you get is not what's advertised, and so like everyone's going to like, you know, not join or whatever. But yeah. I can't do this anymore. The Soviet Pan-European Union is a pretty funny thing. Okay, we have officially reached like peak. Like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, right. There's also the UN. You can vote yes, you can vote no, you can vote abstain on the current resolution. You can condemn the Spanish human rights violations. You can veto shit. Target selection. Oh. What? Oh. Request state. What the fuck? You can request? You've got to be kidding me. Holy shit. Ah, is that getting vetoed by like the United States or something? Can I not see? Can I not see who's vetoing it? Holy shit, you can like request your own states? Okay. There's like an actual bunch of resolutions, like human rights violations, condemned colonialism, influence containment, freeze national assets. I'm guessing a lot of these are like, give this person debuffs. Trade sanction, weapons trade ban, halt nuclearization, WMD disbandment. It's gonna cancel out some WMDs. Oh yeah, there's also a new like WMDs screen with like, you know, DEFCON level, you know, can be raised, it can be lowered. You've got your stockpiles over here. You can select targets at some point, and then you can press the big button, you know, or whatever. You can press the big funny red button. Yeah, request mediation. Like, what the fuck? Request peacekeepers, request intervention, form coalition, release nation. Bro. Holy shit, you can release the Socialist Republic of Kosovo. I see what's going on here. Weapons trade ban. The Sahrawi Democratic Republic. Damn. Okay. This is very interesting. And what else am I missing? I'm sure there's like another thing. Oh yes, the Arab League. Now, the Arab League, if we go to Egypt or whatever. Wait, is that actually already like a thing? Does it already exist? Shit, it might not exist. But like, there's basically an Arab League mechanic that's... It's kind of like the European Union in Millennium Dawn, where, like, you know, you're doing Arab League-related shit. And if the Arab League-related shit... I'm not even drunk. And yet, it sounds like I am. And if the Arab League-related shit... Oh yeah, there is. Where do I bring up the Arab League? I remember looking at it once. So where is the button? Where is the button for the Arab League? Damn it! Oh, there we go. Arab League. There we go. As always, you know, pretty epic graphics, but like, yeah, you've got your stuff over here. Demand Arab state. Arab trade sanctions. You know, it's this kind of, it's always this stuff. Now, the problem that I have with all these systems is like, do they work or not? And that's where my ignorance comes in. I don't know. So yeah. And that's the end of the video because I need to go, you know, do a thing. AKA, I need to go to the bathroom. So, play it for yourself. I hope it's good. I'll play it at some point. And yeah, want to thank y'all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.